Hi there, it's Mimsy. Today I'm going to show you how I changed my sewing room floor from this to this, and all for only $1.49 a square foot. So this is going to be a really quick, not tutorial because it's not step-by-step. I don't give you a bunch of details, but I just show you quickly how I poured this self-leveling concrete in my sewing room. So let's get started. So I live in Central Florida and Hurricane Milton flooded my sewing room. So I was forced to take up all the linoleum and replace my flooring with something. I'm very thankful I got this push broom.
Good sweeping power?
Yes. Time to pour some self-leveling concrete in here. Took off all the baseboards all the way around. I used that foam stuff on the front wall, and I did not use it over there because there's a 2x over there. So I cut out the bottom of the wall on that side, the wet part, and cut out the bottom of the wall over here. And then we primed everything last night. I used this primer tee that was recommended with the product that I'm using. This is all from Lowe's. And I used the self-leveling concrete from Lowe's, and I'll show you that package here. So I swept and swept and swept and swept and swept last night. And then I vacuumed and vacuumed and vacuumed and vacuumed. And then we primed it. So we're ready to go. It says that the primer needs at least 5 hours to dry, but not more than 24 hours. So I did this last night. I primed it last night at about 8 or 9 p.m. So it is now 10 a.m. We had to go get a couple more bags of concrete just in case, because we don't want to run out. That's the one thing we don't want to do is run out. So I've got my buckets. I'll show you how I've got everything set up outside. I've already got on my spiked shoes in case I need to walk in the cement. I probably won't, but I had them because of some epoxy, flooring epoxy that I've done. So anyway, and I've got my dam set up there. I just used a piece of old trim molding, attached it to the wall on each side, and then put some caulking in there to hold that. And then I've got my setup right out here in the driveway. So this is the self-leveling concrete by Mappy. I bought 2 buckets and I had these 5 buckets, so I've already got water in them, ready to start mixing. I used this bucket here that has the measurements on the side, made sure I leveled that up, filled it to exactly 5 quarts is what the directions say, so that's what I did. Pour that into every one of these buckets, and then we'll dump. And I have this mixer on my drill. We'll use that and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to put the buckets onto that dolly in order to be able to just roll it in. Here we go. Okay, first bucket going in. I didn't think about it, but I should have made that curb blower so I could just roll over it. So to wrap this up and give you some practical and useful information regarding pouring self-leveling concrete, I did not make this a really detailed tutorial because there are so many tutorials out there for self-leveling concrete, and I watched a bunch of them before I did this. But I do want to just give you some highlights of the most important things that I learned that will help you if you're thinking about pouring self-leveling concrete. The first thing is that this is definitely a two-person job. You could do it on your own. I would not suggest it. It's heavy moving all that cement. Even though I did not use the rapid set self-leveling concrete, I chose my self-leveling concrete because it had a 24-hour dry time, and my open window, my working open window for the cement was a little bit longer. That's why I chose the cement that I did. I didn't want to be in a huge rush to, get the whole room poured, because this is over 400 square feet. Keeping that in mind, you still have to keep a wet edge. So that's why you really need to have one person mixing the cement and one person pouring. That would be my first tip. Get a helper. Okay, number 2 would be get yourself either a spiked roller or one of those squeegees that has the couple points on it so that it'll kind of regulate the height of your cement, because even though it says self-leveling, it doesn't completely self-level. Get yourself a proper spreader of the product. I used a metal rake, and although it worked, I used it upside down to just drag some of the cement out in order to make it spread. I also used the tined side of it to just kind of blend my wet edge into, my puddles in with the new concrete to blend the wet edge. And even though when it was wet, it looked like glass and smooth and level. When it set up and dried, there is a little bit of texture in areas where I worked the cement with the tines of my rake. One other thing. So this is a perfect solution for my sewing room. For one, I wanted something that was completely smooth with no grout lines, no joins. And I wanted something that would be hard wearing just in case we got water in here again. I don't think that we will, because since I've been here 16 years, water has only come in here 2 times. Hurricane Milton was 1 in 1,000-year amount of rain. One other time I wasn't home, my son said he saw a little water come in because we got a really, really, really heavy rain in a short amount of time. Anyways, I wanted something that's going to be durable, that if it gets wet again, I don't have to worry about it so much. And eventually my plan was always to take the flooring out of my house and bring that click lock flooring into here and use that here. So who knows, maybe I might do that one day, or buy something one day, who knows. This is now a perfect substrate for whatever type of flooring I want to put over it. But all that to say, for the price, you can't beat the price of this and the durability of it and the fact that it's going to be super duper easy to clean and sweep. There's nothing for dirt and grime to get stuck in because it's completely smooth. So that was one reason why I wanted to do those 2 reasons, price and ease of maintenance. But I say all that to say, if you are somebody who likes to have a really perfect floor, this might not be the answer for you, because the look of it is not completely even, and there's really no way to control it, because when you pour the cement, it looks like it's all blended and it looks like it's all the same color, but when it dries, you definitely have some pattern and different depths of gray in the floor. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be all completely even gray, I don't think, no matter how much you work it. And that's just the way it is. I happen to really like the swirling kind of texture of it. I think it gives it some interest, but if you're somebody who wants a perfectly gray, all one color, this probably isn't the answer for you. Those are my biggest tips that I learned from doing this self-leveling concrete in my sewing room. I will show you a little bit, some close-ups of the floor so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about with the swirling patterns and the rake marks. If you want to see my video on the impetus for having to do this, the Hurricane Milton video, and what kicked me in the butt and forced me to pour this cement floor, you can watch that video right here. It's not what you think, so take a look. I'll meet you over there.